Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening to everyone. With this presentation, I'm going to introduce to you LandAware, a recently born international network on landslide early warning systems. I am Michele Calvello from the University of Salerno, and I'm talking here in my role of president of LandAware, of course, also on behalf of the other authors of the paper, Graziella Devoli, Katie Freeborough, Stefano Luigi Gariano, Fausto Guzzetti, Dalia Kirschbaum, Hiro Nakaya, Joanne Robbins, and Manfred Stali, all of them also members of the LandAware Executive Committee. But before starting to describe the main characteristics of the network, you can see here a screenshot of the homepage of our website. Let me just, of course, very briefly introduce to you the wider context within which LandAware is operating. We are dealing with landslide early warning systems. These systems are important non-structural mitigation measures designed and used to avoid or minimize the impact posed by hazards on humans. In the past, let's say 2 decades, the design, implementation, management, and validation of landslide early warning systems have been topics drawing increasing attention in the scientific and technical literature, highlighting several theoretical and practical complexities. Here in the left part of the slide, you can see a somewhat old-fashioned scheme from 2007, in which 4 activities are highlighted using a classical technical flowchart. You move from monitoring to analysis and forecasting to warning to response in a sequential way. However, as you can see in the right part of the slide, newer, more recent schemes highlight also non-technical components of such systems, such as education. They must be considered essential parts of the system, of course, in addition to the more technical components, in this case identified with design, monitoring, and forecasting. These newer types of schemes are indeed more coherent with UNDRR terminology and framework for early warning systems. The first ones already proposed 15 years ago, in which the role of dissemination, communication, and response capability is clearly highlighted alongside risk knowledge, monitoring, and warning. If you read, for instance, the definition, we talk about an integrated system, which includes hazard monitoring, forecasting and prediction, disaster risk assessment, communication, preparedness activities, all of that to enable people exposed to risks, that is individuals, communities, governments, and businesses, to do something to reduce that risk. And that something is to take timely action in advance of the hazardous events. Without all of that, an early warning system wouldn't be effective. That said, with those frameworks in mind, a little more than 1 year ago, in July 2020, a network called LandAware was created to specifically, I read from the cooperation agreement, share experiences, needs, and innovations among landslide early warning system experts, and to develop and promote guidelines and best practices for upcoming landslide early warning systems. The network is multidisciplinary, knowledge-based, non-profit, and its members are individuals. It could be managers of systems, researchers, or university professors, other stakeholders, all joined by the common interest in addressing and promoting issues related to landslide early warning systems, of course. The establishment of this network shall be seen as a follow-up initiative of 2 invitation-only workshops on territorial geographical landslide early warning systems, which were held in Oslo, in Norway in 2016, and in Perugia, that's in Italy, in January 2020, just a few weeks before the COVID pandemic locked most of us at home. Here you can see the group pictures of the events as reported in the companion paper. And here in the companion paper, you can find, of course, if you're curious, some more details on the genesis of the network. LandAware has a bottom-up organizational structure that includes the General Assembly, an executive committee, and a series of working groups. The governing body of LandAware is the General Assembly. The network's day-to-day affairs are managed by the executive committee, which is composed of working group chairs and is chaired by one of them. The specific actions of the network are carried out by means of working groups, indeed. They are the main operational units of LandAware and operate on the basis of predetermined working objectives. Within this structure, members are asked to liaise, to contribute, achieving the objectives of the network. At the moment, membership does not require the payment of any annual fee. The initial working groups were these 7. As you may see, the order is alphabetical, and therefore it does not follow a specific risk management workflow. Indeed, these initial working groups were not meant to cover all the possible important components and activities of landslide early warning systems. We made this choice because working groups are meant to be dynamic. For instance, some of them may by design operate only for a fixed period of time to deliver specific products. We are expecting their number to change with time, to rise, hopefully, as the network will grow. And we are also expecting them to evolve, as indeed is already happening. But before moving to that, here I want to acknowledge that there are real people beyond these groups, chairing them and thus leading their activities. And these people are, in this initial phase of the network, essentially the founding members of the network that are also constituting the executive committee, which I have the honor to preside. As you can see here, we come from many different countries and institutions: NASA in the US, BGS and Med Office in UK, MVE in Norway, in Europe again, WSL in Switzerland, and the University of Salerno, my institution, as well as CNR and the National Civil Protection in Italy, and last but not least, NILIM in Japan. As you can see, the network has been established as a sort of joint venture, we can call it this way, between authorities operating landslide early warning systems and research institutions. Of course, all united by a common interest in developing and managing a warning system for landslides. But besides the front row you saw before, here you can see that participation to the network is very widely distributed across the globe, with more than 200 people worldwide from 48 different countries as of October 2021, coming, of course, from many different institutions, agencies, and universities. I guess the map was clear, but just to give you briefly more details on the countries with the highest number of participants so far, there Italy, here in the center, 36 members so far. Then, let's see, Norway, India, and the UK, but also the US, Spain, Switzerland, Brazil, and Japan. Moving on towards the end of this brief presentation, I want to tell you that besides the activities of the different working groups, LandAware also organizes some network-wide activities. We had a kickoff event in December 2020, of course using Zoom online because of the COVID pandemic. Gladly, it was a very participated 2-hour event, despite the fact that it went live just 30 minutes after the worldwide Google lockdown. You may remember it, with all that meant in terms of connection problem for some of us. But anyway, we made it successfully, nevertheless. Then, most importantly, in May of this year, we had a full-blown online conference that we called the LandAware May Day. And we did it because, in fact, it was a round-the-clock conference lasting 24 hours with 24 different thematic sessions, mostly organized by the different working groups, addressing different topics and having different structures. They were distributed also considering the different time zones around the world to give a possibility to everyone interested to actively participate in the event. And indeed, we had over 300 participants from 51 countries throughout the day, not of course all the time, you know, even the most interested of us had to sleep at some point. If you want, you can find the detailed information on the LandAware May Day on a specific section of our website, which is indeed our main dissemination tool, as well as on our other social outlets. More specifically, on our YouTube channel, you will be able to watch on demand most of the sessions that we had that day, if you're interested. A final comment on our networking and dissemination activities. I want to highlight that we recently created a section of our blog called News from Members, specifically devoted to creating an outlet for sharing news related to Landslides early warning systems, a sort of virtual notice board to which people interested in the subject, not only LandAware members, may refer to when looking for information. And so, to close this presentation, let me finally say that, as indeed I anticipated a few minutes ago, the LandAware working groups are already evolving. A new group will start to operate at the beginning of 2022 on the topic of IoT and innovative technologies for landslide early warning systems. And another one, working group 7, will broaden its focus, including all operational systems and not only national ones. With this, I salute you, telling you that many more LandAware events, network-wide and working group specific, are going to take place in the near and hopefully also in the far future. And as if you're interested in getting news about them, simply go to our website and subscribe to our newsletter. Or if you're keen in doing more and personally participating in the activities of LandAware, please go ahead and apply for membership. About this, I can only say that we are looking forward to having new people like you joining the network. Thank you for your attention. And let me just very briefly appear to say bye-bye. Bye-bye.